Are you feeling overwhelmed by the obstacles in your life? Like no matter how hard you try, you can't seem to get ahead? Maybe it's the weight of your job or a relationship that's draining you. Or perhaps it's that nagging feeling that, as you get older, you've given too much of yourself to others and now there's nothing left. What if I told you that this doesn't have to be your reality? That you have the power to reshape your life and reclaim your energy? I know it may feel like you're stuck in a cycle, but I promise you, you are not alone in this. Many people face moments of struggle, and there are actionable steps you can take right now to change your situation. In the next few minutes, we are going to dive deep into a concept that may seem harsh at first. Never help these people in your old age. It sounds intense, right? But stick with me. This isn't about rejecting others. It's about protecting yourself, your energy, and your well-being. The truth is, as we grow older, we start to realize that time and energy are limited resources. And while helping others can be rewarding, there are certain people and situations that can drain you faster than you can replenish. The question is, are you aware of who those people are? Are you setting boundaries to protect yourself? Or are you constantly giving until you have nothing left? The purpose of this discussion is to empower you to take control of your life, to help you identify who and what you need to stop investing in so that you can start prioritizing yourself. We'll cover the signs to look out for, the strategies to implement, and the mindset shifts that will allow you to build a life filled with purpose, energy, and joy. By the end of this, you'll feel ready to take action, make necessary changes, and feel more empowered than ever. Let's begin by talking about the problem. Life has a way of throwing challenges at us, some big, some small, but all of them demanding our time, energy, and attention. We all know what it's like to be stretched too thin, constantly giving to others, whether it's in our work, personal relationships, or even to people we hardly know. You probably have someone in your life who always asks for favors, never really gives back, and leaves you feeling drained. This might be someone who doesn't respect your boundaries, takes advantage of your kindness, or manipulates your willingness to help. Now, let's think about the cost of this. What happens when you continue to give without taking care of your own needs? The answer is simple. You burn out. You lose yourself. You begin to feel resentful and bitter, not just toward the people who are taking from you, but toward life itself. You start to wonder why no one seems to care about your needs or why your efforts aren't appreciated. It's easy to get trapped in a cycle of guilt, feeling as though you must always help others no matter the cost. But here's the hard truth. When you give too much, especially to the wrong people, it doesn't just affect your emotional well-being. It impacts your physical health, your career, and your relationships. Maybe you're neglecting your own personal growth because you're constantly rescuing someone else. Maybe your health is starting to suffer because you're running on empty. The result is the same. You're left feeling depleted, and you end up with nothing left to give to the people who matter most, yourself and your loved ones. I get it. I've been there too. It's hard to say no. It's hard to put yourself first when you've spent your whole life helping others. But let me tell you, you are not alone in this. Many people fall into the trap of overgiving because they've been conditioned to think that self-sacrifice is the only way to be a good person. I want you to know this. Self-care is not selfish. Setting boundaries is not unkind. You deserve to take care of yourself first. Now, let's talk about what happens when you continue to ignore this problem. If you keep allowing these negative dynamics in your life, here's what's at risk. You will become more emotionally drained. The resentment will build, and you'll find yourself dreading interactions with the very people you've been trying to help. Your health will take a hit. You'll become stressed, anxious, or even depressed. And, worst of all, you'll start to lose your sense of identity. You will no longer recognize who you are because you've spent so much of yourself trying to please others. You've forgotten what truly matters to you. But here's the thing, none of this is permanent. You can change your circumstances starting today. It all begins with a mindset shift, a decision to put yourself first and to stop giving to the people who only take from you. This is not about being cold or uncaring. This is about self-preservation, about recognizing that your value does not lie in how much you give or how much you sacrifice. It lies in who you are as a person, and your worth is immeasurable. So, how do you make this shift? First, you need to recognize the signs of people who will drain you. They might be people who constantly ask for help but never return the favor. They could be individuals who don't respect your time, energy, or boundaries. They might be manipulative or emotionally abusive, making you feel guilty for saying no. These are the people you need to recognize and stop helping. The next step is to set firm boundaries. It's not enough to just recognize the problem. You need to act. Start by saying no when you feel like you're giving more than you should. Practice asserting your needs. And remember that it's okay to say no without feeling guilty. It might be uncomfortable at first, but you'll soon realize that setting boundaries is an essential part of maintaining your health and well-being. But what about the guilt? The fear that people will judge you or think you're selfish. This is where the mindset shift really comes into play. You have to remind yourself that self-care is essential. You are allowed to prioritize yourself. Think about the people you care about most. Would you want them to run themselves ragged, helping others at the expense of their own happiness and health? No. You would want them to take care of themselves first, because only then can they show up as their best selves for the people who truly matter. The next step is to take control of your time. Time is one of the most valuable resources you have. When you're constantly helping others, you're giving away your time without any regard for how it affects you. Instead of letting others dictate your time, you need to take charge. Start setting aside time for yourself, whether it's for relaxation, exercise, hobbies, or simply taking a break. Schedule it just like any other important appointment. And what about those moments when the people you've helped in the past reach out again? This is where your boundaries come in again. Politely but firmly remind them of your limits. You don't have to explain yourself, and you don't have to apologize. It's your time, your energy, and your life. Protect it. Now, I know this is easier said than done. You might face challenges along the way. You might feel guilty, or others might try to guilt trip you into helping. But let me tell you, those challenges are temporary. Once you start prioritizing yourself, you'll start to feel empowered. You'll begin to see that by saying no to the wrong people, you're actually saying yes to the right things in your life, your health, your happiness, your growth. Let's talk about overcoming those obstacles. I'm not going to pretend this is going to be easy. It's not. You might face resistance from others who don't understand your boundaries. You might even feel some internal resistance yourself, especially if you've spent years helping others without question. But I want you to remember this. Every time you say no, you are saying yes to yourself. You are investing in your future, your well-being, and your happiness. You don't have to do this alone. There are so many people who have walked this path before you. You are part of a growing movement of individuals who are reclaiming their time, their energy, and their lives. They have set boundaries and learned to say no, and so can you. One of the most inspiring stories I can share is that of someone who was overwhelmed by the demands of their family. They were constantly giving, helping with bills, taking care of others' responsibilities, and neglecting their own needs. But once they realized that they were doing this out of guilt and not out of love, everything changed. They began setting boundaries, prioritizing their own health, and slowly, they started to regain their energy. Their relationships improved because they could finally show up as their best self, not a drained, resentful version of themselves. This is possible for you too. You can take back control of your life and start making choices that align with your needs and goals. And once you do, you will be amazed at how your life begins to shift. You'll feel stronger, more confident, and more capable of handling whatever challenges come your way. Absolutely. The journey doesn't end when you make the initial changes. It's just the beginning. Sustaining transformation is all about continuous growth and constant reinforcement of the boundaries and habits you've set. It's about developing resilience and making your personal development a permanent part of your routine, rather than a temporary phase. Once you've taken control of your time, energy, and priorities, the next step is to ensure that this new mindset doesn't fade. You've worked hard to get to this point, so now it's about protecting what you've built and keeping it going. The beauty of a growth mindset is that it doesn't stop after you achieve a goal. It propels you to new heights and new goals. So, the work continues by nurturing what you've created. One key component is continuing to prioritize self-care. Self-care isn't just about relaxation or taking time off. It's about maintaining the habits that help you show up as your best self every day. Whether that means carving out time for rest, engaging in hobbies, or continuing physical and mental health routines, self-care supports every part of your transformation. Additionally, don't be afraid to reassess your goals. Life evolves, and so do your dreams and aspirations. You don't have to stick to the same plan forever. As you grow, your goals should reflect the person you're becoming. Revisit your goals regularly and tweak them to align with the new opportunities that present themselves in your life. Setting boundaries is another ongoing challenge. As you evolve, people around you may try to pull you back into old habits or take up your time and energy. Learning to say no is a muscle that you'll need to keep strengthening. It's a form of self-respect that says, "My time, energy, and peace are valuable, and I can't afford to waste them." By consistently practicing the art of saying no, you ensure that your boundaries remain strong and that your transformation isn't derailed by outside demands. Another aspect of sustaining your transformation is to celebrate your progress. When you hit milestones, take time to acknowledge your efforts and how far you've come. This will not only boost your morale, but also help you reflect on the positive changes you've made. Recognizing these victories keeps the motivation going, reinforcing the belief that growth is an ongoing, rewarding process. Now, as you continue to invest in yourself, keep in mind that this isn't about perfection. It's about progress. The more you practice saying no, the more natural it becomes. The more you prioritize your well-being and growth, the easier it will be to maintain the life you're building. Every little choice you make today has the power to create ripples in your future. So, take a moment now, as you suggested, to reflect on the areas where you're overextending yourself. What can you delegate or let go of? Who can you start saying no to? By taking these small actions, you're actively shaping your future, one decision at a time. Keep moving forward, because the power to sustain and grow your transformation is already within you. You've already taken the first step, and with each new one, you're creating a future that reflects your true potential. You've got this, and the best part is, it's just the beginning. Absolutely. Let's dive deeper into what it takes to not only sustain your transformation but also continue to evolve and thrive in the long run. Step 1. Keep prioritizing yourself. The first key to sustaining your transformation is to never stop prioritizing yourself. When you've reclaimed your time and energy, it's tempting to feel like you've done enough. But the truth is, self-care is an ongoing process. It's not a one-time fix. You must continue to make yourself a priority. That could mean blocking off time each week for relaxation or investing in activities that nurture your mind and body, like exercise, meditation, or pursuing a creative hobby. Personal growth is just as important. It doesn't stop once you've set boundaries or learned to say no. In fact, as you create more space in your life, you now have the opportunity to dive deeper into areas of personal development you may have previously neglected. Whether it's learning a new skill, taking a course, reading more books, or even just journaling to track your progress, these investments in yourself will propel your growth forward. Step 2. Reflect and revisit your goals. The process of transformation isn't linear. It's fluid. As you evolve, so should your goals. Once you've started making progress toward the changes you want, it's important to reflect and reassess your objectives. What goals still excite you? Which ones need adjustment? Are there new goals that have emerged as a result of your growth? Setting new milestones and revising your goals ensures that you remain challenged and motivated. As your life evolves, your aspirations may shift. What was important a few months ago may no longer align with your current self. That's okay. Take the time to revise your path to match the person you're becoming. Step 3. Reaffirm your boundaries. Setting boundaries is an essential part of your transformation. But to sustain that growth, you must continuously reaffirm those boundaries. It can be difficult, especially as you become more successful or more involved in various aspects of life. But protecting your energy and time is crucial. It's easy to get caught up in the desire to please others or overcommit to things you don't truly have the bandwidth for. Over time, however, this can lead to burnout and stress. Learning to say no becomes more powerful the more you practice it. It's important to understand that saying no doesn't mean you're being selfish. It means you are taking responsibility for your own well-being. So, continue to set clear limits. Assess what activities, commitments, or relationships drain you, and make intentional decisions to remove or reduce them. The more you practice maintaining boundaries, the easier it will become. The key is to continually check in with yourself to ensure your boundaries align with your current goals, values, and energy levels. Step 4. Invest in your mental and physical health. A healthy body supports a healthy mind. So, it's essential that you continue to invest in your mental and physical well-being. This means maintaining habits like exercise, eating nutritious foods, and getting enough sleep. It's easy to let these things slip once we feel like we've got it all together, but they are the bedrock that allows you to function at your best. Regular physical activity not only improves your physical health but also boosts your mood and mental clarity. Whether it's a daily walk, yoga session, or gym workout, make sure to prioritize movement. It doesn't have to be intense, but it must be consistent. Likewise, Eating nutritious foods fuels your body with the energy needed to tackle your goals and support your mental well-being. And don't forget about mental health. It's just as important as physical health, if not more. Engage in activities that reduce stress, such as journaling, meditating, or practicing mindfulness. If you're facing difficult emotions or struggles, don't hesitate to seek professional support. Whether it's a therapist, coach, or support group, having someone to guide you through tough times can be invaluable. Step 5. Celebrate small wins. Transformation isn't just about the big milestones. It's about the small, consistent victories along the way. Often, we get so focused on the end goal that we forget to appreciate the journey. But celebrating small wins is crucial for maintaining motivation and reinforcing positive behavior. Did you manage to keep your new routine for a week? That's a win. Did you say no to an obligation that wasn't serving you? Celebrate that. These small achievements reinforce the new habits you're building and remind you that progress is happening, even if it doesn't always feel like it. The more you acknowledge these wins, the more motivated you'll feel to keep pushing forward. Step 6. Stay flexible and adapt. Life is unpredictable, and the path to sustained growth requires flexibility. You might face challenges that derail your plans, or opportunities that lead you down new and exciting paths. The key is to stay adaptable. When things don't go as planned, instead of feeling defeated, approach it with curiosity. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Or how can I adjust my approach? Staying flexible also means that if you feel the need to shift your goals or your methods, it's okay to do so. Sometimes, your growth will lead you in a direction you didn't expect, and that's something to be embraced, not feared. The more you practice flexibility, the more resilient you'll become. Step 7. Keep learning and evolving. Personal growth is a lifelong journey. There's always more to learn, more skills to acquire, and more challenges to overcome. Never stop being curious and seeking ways to expand your horizons. Whether it's learning something new in your career, pursuing an area of passion, or deepening your knowledge in a subject that excites you, commit to constant learning. Growth isn't linear. It's an ongoing spiral, where you continue to build on your past achievements while reaching higher for the future. Every step you take forward is another layer of personal development, and the more you embrace this journey, the more you'll realize how much potential lies within you. In conclusion, the transformation you've started is just the beginning. To keep evolving and sustaining it, you must continue to prioritize self-care, invest in your personal growth, set boundaries, and stay adaptable. This is a lifelong process, but with each step, you're creating a life that is aligned with your true self. So, take a deep breath, take that first step, and keep building the life you deserve. You have everything within you to succeed, and the best part is that the journey is just getting started.